Hey, welcome back. In this video, we will solve the longest common prefix problem on LeetCode. Okay, so let's see the problem statement here. Write a function to find the longest common prefix string among an array of strings. Okay, so if there is no common prefix, return an empty string. So what exactly does that saying? So here, as you can see, this is our input here. So flower, flow, and flight. And as you can see, the longest common prefix is basically FL. Okay. So how we can solve this problem? So let's go to Excalidraw. So I am inside of my drawing tool basically. So we are having the flower, then flight, and then flow. Okay, so now we have to find the longest common prefix. So what we can do, for each of the strings, we can have a pointer here. Okay, and also this pointer will be keeping track of the characters which are inside of the string basically. Okay, so first of all, our pointer will be at F. Okay, so here in the first string, we are having F. So we will grab the F and add it to our string, which will be result. Okay, F. Then our pointer here will be going to the next character. Okay, so the next character is L. Okay, for each and every string here. So we will grab our L and then we will add it to our result, and then we will add this pointer to the next character here. And as you can see here, we are having O in the first one. Okay, so let me just do something like this. Here we are having O for the first string here. For the last string, we are having O as well for the third character basically. But for the second string, we are having the I. Okay, and that is why our result will be just FL. Okay, quite simple. Now there are some of the edge cases here. So as you can see, we are having our pointer here. And for example, what happened is that, so we are having flower. We can do something like, so let me just erase this one. So instead of flight, we can have FLOW. Let's do flow, not flower. Okay, flow Z. Okay, flows. All right, so in that case, as you can see, our pointer will be here. And if I just select this pointer, so our pointer will be here. So we are having the common O here. So our pointer will go here. We are having the W here, and our pointer will be out of bounds. So while working with this particular approach, basically while running our for loop here, first we have to check for the minimum length of our strings. Okay, so we have to find the minimum length of the strings which are being provided to us. Otherwise, for example, if I will just do something like this, so I will just grab this one. Okay, let me just grab it here. Okay, so otherwise, if I just do something like this and do something like this, so if we just go here, okay, our pointer is here. So if we just basically keeping track of this particular string, which is here, okay, which is basically here. So as you can see, with the for loop here, if I just do something like this, so we are having F, then L, then O, then W, and then we are having Z here. And inside of this particular one, so inside of this particular string, we are having E, but here we are not getting anything, right? Because we are out of bounds for this particular string. So first of all, we have to calculate the minimum length of the string. Okay, and then we have to run our for loop to the minimum length. So we are not overflowing with any of the strings. I hope that makes sense. So this is basically that. So first of all, what we have to do, we have to basically calculate the minimum length. Okay, and then we will have a pointer, something like I. And while basically I is less than the minimum length, so while I is less than the minimum length, then what we will do, we will create our for loop basically. And for each of the strings, we will check each of the characters if they are equal or not. Okay, if they are equal, then that is totally good. If they are not equal, then we will just return that particular portion which is common. Okay, so that is basically that. All right, so now let's discuss about the time and the space complexity. So time complexity. Time complexity will be big O of n times m. So what exactly is n? N is the number of strings. Okay, and m is the minimum length of the string basically, which we will calculate. Okay, and what exactly is the space complexity? The space complexity will be big O of 1 because we are not allocating any sort of extra memory, right? Extra space. We are not allocating anything. All right, so now let's go to LeetCode and code it up. So all right, we are inside of LeetCode. So first of all, we have to calculate the minimum length. So min length. And here inside of Python, you can do something like this. So minimum function. And then inside of that, we can pass a list comprehension. In case if you do not know what exactly is a list comprehension in Python, I have a dedicated Python course. You can check it out. There I have discussed it thoroughly. All right, so for this one, so for the length of s, for s in strs. Okay, so this will give us the minimum length. All right, then what we will do, we will add a pointer which is I equals to 0, which will start at 0. Okay, and while I is less than the minimum length. All right, so while I is less than minimum length, then what we have to do, we have to add the for loop for s in strs. All right, for each of the string basically, if the s of I, basically the character in each of the string is equals to what? So now we can just check or compare the first string basically. So for example, what we can do something like this. If that is not equals to the str of 0, which is the first string of I, basically we are checking for each of the string here. So let me just do something like this. So str string. So that will be a little bit more clear. Okay, so here, as you can see, for each of the string, for each of the characters basically inside of that string, if that is equals to the first string character. Okay, so the character inside of the first string, which is at the I index. Okay, so if that is not equals to that, then what we will do, we will just simply return, right? Return the basically the string with those elements like which are common. So what we can do inside of Python, we can do something like this: s or string basically of colon I. So I is not included here basically. Okay, so we will just return the common string which we have found. Okay, and after that, after this for loop basically, then what we will do, we will just increment the I plus plus equals to 1. And then after this while loop, basically, then what we can do, we can just return strs strings of 0 of colon I. Okay, so this is basically that. So what exactly we are doing currently right now here, we are basically, in case if this while loop basically ends, then what we will do, we will basically return the first string until the ith element. Okay, so ith element is not included because the ith element will be increasing, right? So I plus equals to 1 will run after finishing the while loop basically. So then what will happen, we will be just returning the strings of 0 with the ith element. Basically what we will do, we will return the minimum string in case we are able to find all of the strings here. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Basically, in case if we are able to find all of the characters which are common inside of the string. All right, so now let's see what exactly is the time complexity. So time complexity, that will be big O of n times m. Okay, where n is the number of strings and m is the number of the minimum length. Okay, so the minimum length. All right, and the space complexity, that will be big O of 1. All right, so this is basically it. Okay, so if I just zoom out a little bit, can I? Okay, I cannot. Let me just do something like this. Okay, let me just exit the full screen and I will just zoom out a little bit. So the code is inside of the screen. Okay, all right. So this is our whole code. Okay, so this is basically our algorithm. So what exactly we are doing? We are checking for the minimum length of the string. Then while basically inside of the minimum length, we will be checking for each of the strings basically inside of the string, and we will be checking if the ith character of each individual string is equals to the ith character of the first string. Okay, if that is not the case, then we will return the string until the particular ith character. Okay, in case if we are able to finish up the while loop basically, then what we will do, we will return the whole basically the minimum string which we have calculated. Okay, all right, so run the program. Okay, so I am missing a colon here. So okay, run the program once again. All right, so as you can see, it is working, and submit it. Okay, LeetCode is taking its time. All right, so as you can see, it is quite efficient as well. So that is all for this video. In case if you have learned something, please like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.